It's not a movie at all, Brian. Just 3 episodes back to back.
Number 20. Meta references in Peter and Homer's fight. Family Guy always pokes fun at the similarities and differences between them and the OG adult animated family sitcom The Simpsons. So, when the two shows got together for a crossover episode, fans were excited to see what kind of trouble these two TV families could stir up.
I think I speak for all of us when I say I am over The Simpsons.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm saying The Simpsons suck.
Why, you...
Peter starts a fight by saying he's over The Simpsons, hinting that the show is past its prime, with the bout mirroring those Peter has with the giant chicken.
Hey, that's no fair. I don't got none of them.
We see Homer chuck Emmys at Peter, who is unable to retaliate because he has none. And Roger from American Dad appears and swiftly leaves, referencing the fact that this show is no longer on Fox.
Yeah, it's really great, isn't it, guys? We went to summer camp together. Bye, thanks for having me.
Number 19. Barry Robinson.
Hey, Steve. Somebody left this on your front porch.
Great. It's the fat one.
That's a doormat, Barry.
Who's Matt Barry?
God, I hate you so much.
Peter and Chris are the victims of many weight-related jokes throughout the show, so it isn't exactly surprising that they end up at a weight loss camp. Creators of the show took this opportunity to feature other characters that are perceived to be overweight, including Barry Robinson from American Dad.
I was on a city bus, and the guy next to me was eating a bucket of fried chicken.
Yum.
And the smell was getting to me, and even though I didn't know the guy, I just dug in and started stuffing that chicken into my mouth.
Oh.
Embarrassing.
I've done that.
They're brief moments in the episode, but it's a great nod to fans of both shows. Both Chris and Barry have a lot of similarities, as they're both often forgotten about by their parents, and neither of them are the sharpest knives in the drawer. But we sure hope Barry had a better experience at Camp Fresh Start than Chris does.
I saw a forest like this in a book one time, and I know there's a gingerbread house out here somewhere.
Do you think we could find it?
Number 18. Freshly painted Greek statues. This episode makes it clear that the Family Guy crew thinks about even the most minuscule of details. Peter tells the story of Helen of Troy, who was the most beautiful woman in the world according to Greek mythology.
Helen? What the Hades?
What? She's hot, but not as hot as Medusa.
When we see the scenes from ancient Greece, eagle-eyed fans can notice that the Greek statues are not faded in the way they are today, but instead they're freshly painted. The story of Helen of Troy takes place during the Trojan War, which, if factual, took place around the 12th century BC, so it only makes sense that the statues wouldn't be faded like they are today. We have no choice but to tip our hats to the detail-oriented minds behind this episode.
Wow, our people are really smart. I bet Greeks will always be known for their advancements in math and not as cartoon characters with very hairy arms and a tragically mismanaged economy.
Number 17. Brian and Jillian's neckwear. Brian considers Jillian the one who got away. And even though it may seem like they have nothing in common, a small detail they share proves otherwise.
Hey, maybe my name is on this collar.
Cremate, don't bury.
Okay, that's a downer.
Brian wears a red collar with a gold tag throughout the entirety of the show, and it's very recognizable since it's literally the only thing he wears. But what viewers might not notice is that Jillian also wears a red necklace with a gold tag, just like Brian.
And then, think about this! Have you ever seen the sun and the moon in the same place at the same time?
They're the same person!
I know, right?
You're brilliant!
We know they don't end up together, or at least they haven't so far, but this little detail may be the creator's way of showing that they are meant for one another after all. Number 16. Lois's Facebook friend requests. Moms are usually the ones adding their daughters on Facebook, and the daughters are the ones who usually don't respond to the friend request. But when it comes to Lois and Meg, the opposite is true.
All right, well, fine. Okay, I'm not the perfect mother. Who is?
When Lois is trying to get some traction on her Facebook posts, we can see in the corner of the page that she has an unaccepted friend request from her eldest child. Meg is undoubtedly the punching bag of the family. When they aren't ripping on everything she says and does, they pretty much ignore her. But it's literally the least they could do to be her friend on Facebook, and it looks as though they aren't even doing that.
I thought we were friends. The kind of really good friends that communicate with each other poorly through Facebook.
Number 15. Gumble to Gumble.
Bryant Gumble, Greg Gumble, brothers, bike cops. Gumble to Gumble, beach justice.
If there's one thing Seth MacFarlane can undoubtedly do well, it's laugh at himself. This Season 2 episode is centered around Peter's favorite show, Gumble to Gumble Beach Justice, getting canceled.
I can't believe this.
I feel sick.
Only one thing to do, Chris. We gotta save Gumble to Gumble, and we're gonna do it Griffin to Griffin.
Throughout the episode, Peter goes to great lengths to try and revive the show, and it turns out this may have been a personal mission for Peter's voice actor, MacFarlane himself. Gumble to Gumble was the name of the first rejected TV show MacFarlane pitched to Fox. The series creator decided to show off his failed premise on his successful one, and it's a great hidden detail that doubles as a jab at the home network for passing on him the first time.
Well, what do you have to say to that? I'm not going to jail, Chris doesn't have to die, and best of all, Gumble to Gumble is back on the air.
Number 14. If you can read this. In this cutaway, Peter shows us the one time that he was defeated, and it turns out that it's during a Tron-like race.
Eric?
Peter? Oh my God, I haven't seen you since high school. God, what are you doing these days?
I'm the red guy.
Oh my God.
What are you doing?
I'm the green guy.
No kidding.
Yeah.
With Peter's affinity for 80s flicks, it's no surprise that he would reference this iconic sci-fi flick. Although it is a bit of a surprise that he ran into his high school friend during the race. When he takes off, there's an easy-to-miss message written on the wall behind him that reads, "If you can read this, your TV is upside down." The message is obviously written upside down, and we have no idea why it was thrown into this particular scene. But we are always here for fun Easter eggs, so we'll go with it.
Hey, is that Stacy Beecham?
Where?
Number 13. Robot Chicken.
Look, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats, He-Man. Yay! Those shows existed.
How's it feel to be on a major network for 30 seconds?
Family Guy likes to make fun of its lack of awards as compared to their counterparts like The Simpsons or Bob's Burgers. But at least it's on a major network, and it's undoubtedly one of the most well-known adult animation shows on TV. So whenever there's a reference to the show Robot Chicken, the characters are quick to lampoon it. Well, everyone except Chris, since he is in fact voiced by Seth Green, the co-creator and star of Robot Chicken.
No, Chris, you see, Mr. Robot is a critically acclaimed show. Robot Chicken is something kids used to watch in 2006. It's basically 4 minutes of nonsense on at 1 in the morning breaking up personal injury ads.
Chicken.
These jokes are not unlike the references made to The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which features Lois's voice actor Alex Borstein, or Bad Moms starring Mila Kunis, aka Meg.
Bad Moms 1 and 2 are available on most streaming platforms?
Don't do that, Mila. Not on this show.
All of these inside jokes are for the superfans, and we are here for it. Number 12. 100 minus 1 LOF Ballons. This one is for the music fans out there. Stewie runs into many mishaps with his time machine, but one of the most disastrous is when Mort accidentally ends up in Nazi Germany. Brian and Stewie go to rescue him, and they go the extra mile to ensure his safety. Stewie even transforms himself into a certain dictator and meets up with the German scientists who are working on the atomic bomb and a collection of inflated LOF ballons.
So, how's the atomic bomb coming?
It's coming. There are some problems. We're having much better luck developing this impressive collection of 100 LOF Ballons. Oh, damn.
They are at 100 when Stewie, Brian, and Mort arrive, but one pops, leaving them with only 99 LOF Ballons, which is also the name of a song by Nina. Family Guy writers, we see you and we're impressed. Number 11. Adam West's Halloween characters. Adam West played a hilarious version of himself on the show, as the town of Quahog's simple mayor with a heart of gold. In our world, he's known as the beloved actor who played Batman in the 1960s.
Batman, how could you have opened a vault to which you didn't even know the combination in 3 seconds flat?
With my 3 seconds flat Bat Vault combination unscrambler, Commissioner. Amazing.
In this Halloween episode, the team at Family Guy paid homage to him with not one, but 2 costumes of his former characters trick-or-treating at his door.
A Cornish game hen for you, a Cornish game hen for you. Everybody gets a hen. Would you like some gravy? Sure, you'd like some gravy.
Obviously Batman. But the second costume is from West's role in The Fairly OddParents, where he supplied the voice talent for another fictionalized version of his real self, Catman.
Timmy, what'll I do all day if I can't fight crime? I can't lick the spoons clean at the dairy whip. That would be unsanitary.
This subtle tribute to him is particularly moving in retrospect since the actor passed in 2017, and his absence on the show is definitely felt. Number 10. Buffalo Chris. To get revenge on Chris, Meg embarrasses him in front of the school by showing a video of him parodying Buffalo Bill's Goodbye Horses dance from The Silence of the Lambs. While the scene is definitely humiliating, it has a deeper connection to Chris than anyone realizes. When auditioning for Chris, his voice actor Seth Green was dared by a friend to try out his best Buffalo Bill impression for the character. He could have gone with a stereotypical surfer dude voice for Chris, but Green was bold enough to try a hilarious impression of a serial killer. And it worked. So this parody doubles as a testament to the character's vocal inspiration.
And I said, can I try something really silly? And I did, and McFarlane liked it, so I got the job.
Number 9. All in the Family tribute.
Family Guy was recorded on tape before a live audience.
Family Guy has paid multiple tributes to TV producer Norman Lear's sitcoms, and the most enduring one is the very first thing you see when a Family Guy episode begins. The opening theme song with Peter and Lois playing the piano, recalling the good old days, is actually an homage to the opening for All in the Family, where we see Archie and Edith Bunker doing the same.
Those were the days.
Family Guy creator Seth MacFarlane admits to being an admirer of Lear's comedies, right down to how they handle controversial topics, so it's flattering to see him pay tribute to his inspiration before almost every show. Number 8. Red Rum. At the start of the episode Love Thy Trophy, Stewie is innocently playing with blocks, but if you look closely, the blocks spell out a not-so-innocent message: Red Rum. This is an obvious reference to Stephen King and Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, where the son, the young psychic character Danny Torrance, would mutter the phrase Red Rum, which is actually murder spelled backwards.
Red rum! Red rum!
What makes this sight gag so perfect is that it's Stewie, a sociopathic conniving infant out for blood, who sets up the joke, and it is too fitting for his character. It doesn't help that Stewie starts plotting someone's murder during the scene, making the gag even more hysterical.
Michael Flatley must be turning over in his grave. Wait a minute, he's not dead. Yet. Michael Flatley.
Number 7. DVD cover. The Griffins are having a family yard sale, hoping to get rid of the excess junk they've collected over the years. If you look closely at Brian's table, you'll see a familiar-looking DVD cover, the cover for Stewie Griffin: The Untold Story.
It's not a movie at all, Brian. Just 3 episodes back to back.
At first it seems like subtle product placement, but the extended DVD version of this scene says otherwise. Lois berates the film for trying to pass itself off as a movie when it's really a trio of episodes edited together. Is this a shameless plug or a hilarious jab at themselves for their middle finger to the fans? If the latter, we're not sure if Fox would approve.
It's a middle finger to the fans is what it is. I tell you, Fox should be in bed.
Number 6. Luke Perry TV Guide. Peter's looking for a story to give to Meg for the school newspaper, when inspiration comes in the form of a TV guide. Luke Perry. If you're quick enough to catch it, or at least have a pause button, you might be able to catch the little message under Perry's picture that says, "If you can read this, Family Guy is on the air."
If they die, I'll have nothing to watch on Wednesdays. Other than the fine programs on Fox.
When it comes to self-aware humor, it can either be more upfront, or in this case, it can be so subtle that you almost miss it. And it's not wrong considering how often Family Guy can be found on TV. Number 5. WWID. While in Mel Gibson's personal suite, Peter stumbles upon the trailer for a planned sequel for The Passion of the Christ.
Man, you crazy, Jesus! You crazy!
That's what my ex-wife said.
The trailer itself is a pretty goofy parody of high-energy action films, featuring Jesus teaming up with Chris Tucker, but it goes by so fast that viewers might miss one hidden visual gag. When we see Jesus driving his car, if you look closely at the license plate, it reads WWID, which translates to "What would I do?" While it's an obvious spin on the morality phrase "What would Jesus do?", it's still worth a giggle considering whose car it's on, and with how immoral the whole situation is. Number 4. Funny headline, or letdown? The Griffins are excited to see their picture in the newspaper, but if you don't look fast enough, you might miss the gag under the photo. Near the bottom of the page, there's a headline that reads, DVDs paused for headline joke. Millions disappointed. On the one hand, it could be a cheeky jab at those who pause their DVDs to catch any blink and you'll miss it visual gags. On the other hand, it can also be a little nod to sister series American Dad, who thrived on newspaper headline jokes for the first few seasons. Either way, fans may not actually be disappointed by this clever little Easter egg. Number 3. Holden Caulfield. Peter's just goofing around, pretending to play the keyboard, when a random man berates him and pesters him for being a big fat phony throughout the rest of the episode.
You're a phony! Hey, this guy's a great big phony!
While the character doesn't have an official name, fans and some staff behind the show have dubbed him Holden Caulfield, named after the famous protagonist of the J.D. Salinger novel The Catcher in the Rye.
A phony lives here! A big fat phony!
In the book, Holden is a misguided, cynical teenager who usually called everyone he hates a phony. With how often in the show Holden keeps calling Peter out for being one, it'd be hard not to make the connection for an inside joke.
Hey everybody! This guy's a great big phony!
Number 2. Surprise Cantina patrons.
Move along, move along.
In the original Star Wars film, the Mos Eisley Cantina was a shady drinking spot for creatures of all sorts, not all of them friendly. In the Blue Harvest parody, the tavern is still packed with miscellaneous creatures, plus a few surprise customers. Among the patrons is the formerly evil monkey from Chris's Closet, Roger from American Dad, Bender from Futurama, and Coach John McGurk from Home Movies. We all know Family Guy loves to toy around with references, but what really sells these cameos is how they seem to blend in perfectly. None of them has the best reputation, and they're bizarre looking enough to call this bar a second home. Number 1. What the hell? Taking the number 1 spot is the show's most versatile and commonplace catchphrase.
Peter, what the hell's the matter with you?
Believe it or not, in almost every episode, there is at least one instance of a character saying, "What the hell?"
Ready? 1, 2, 3. What the hell? What the hell?
It could be to express frustration, fear, rage, confusion, to make light of something, or even as a setup for another running gag.
Yeah, that hurt? That hurt?
What the hell?
Yeah, that don't feel so good, does it?
No matter the context or the character, it is bound to show up in some form.
What the hell? No, 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 no!
If it's not directly mentioned in an episode, it could still appear in an alternate rendition.
What the heck?
It's amazing what you can hide in plain sight through repetition. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.